Hi, I'm Allison Ladon Daroui. Welcome to the Ladon Method. This is our chill class. So just move at your own pace and we're gonna get started. So today, let's start in our down dog. Let's curl the toes under, lifting the hips up and back, coming into that inverted V shape, that upside down V. Feel your sit bones continue to reach up and back as the crown of the head reaches in the opposite direction. Taking a few rounds of breath here. Taking a nice body scan. And on your own time, let's take it into a high plank, top of a push-up, getting your shoulders right above the wrists. Lower onto your knees, keep your core nice and engaged. And as slowly as you can, lower all the way down onto your chest. Try to lead with the chest. And from here, bring the tops of your feet onto the mat, the nail side of the feet. Bring tented fingertips to frame the sides of the mat. Keep your legs nice and engaged. Your arms are really wide, giving you some space here. To inhale, reach your chest forward, and exhale, dip one shoulder towards the center of the mat. Moving through at your own pace, moving from one side to the next. Taking some organic movement here. You might even stay lifted, rolling out the shoulders a bit, or you can continue with these shoulder dips, or maybe just staying at center. Just see what your body needs here. Make sure as you lift that you feel the belly button move towards the spine, so you're supporting the low back. Good. On your own time, we'll lower down, placing the hands onto the mat, lifting up to a tabletop and into a down dog. Then slowly begin to tiptoe forward, coming into a forward fold with feet hip distance and parallel to one another. From here, we're going to lift up halfway, bringing your fingertips to your shins right beneath the knees. Let's interlace the fingers above the sacrum. Roll the shoulders back down along the spine so your chest is nice and open. You can always grab onto a strap or a towel, t-shirt, something. If that's very uncomfortable for you, you can create more distance between the hands here. So you want to get the shoulders back and down along the spine rather than them curling forward wherever you are. And then from here, we're going to bend in our right knee. Keep your spine long. We'll begin to open the chest towards the left side of the room, feeling the interlaced fingers move towards the right side of the room. Your left leg is straight, but you're not locking the knee. It's a little micro bend there. On your own time, let's take it back to center. Let's find a nice bend in that left knee, and we'll open up the chest towards the right. Your right leg is straight again, maybe a little micro bend in that knee, you're just not locking it. Breathing into it. And then from here, let's take it to center. Both legs straight. You can always keep a little bend in the knees. We'll begin to hinge forward at the hips, allowing the interlaced fingers to reach overhead towards the top of the mat. And on your own time, allow those interlaced fingers to guide you back to an upright. You can bring a nice bend into your knees here, allowing you to relax the hamstrings, hips a little bit more. And then we'll release the grip. Now we're going to sit back into our imaginary chair. Fingertips reach high. Try to get your knees right above the ankles. Take a nice big inhale at center. On an exhale, open up your chest to the left. Let's inhale at center, reaching fingertips high. Exhale, open your chest to the right. Inhale, take it back to center. On an exhale, we'll find airplane arms, palms face down, roll those shoulders back, fingertips reaching towards the back of the room. On an inhale, let's raise it all the way up to standing, finding those cactus arms, shining the heart high. Good. On your own time, on an inhale, we'll take it to an upright. On an exhale, allow the hands to melt through heart center as you hinge forward at the hips. On an inhale, let's lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. On an exhale, let's plant the palms. stepping it back to a high plank, top of a push-up. You can lower onto the knees or you can stay in your high plank, and as slowly as you can, lower all the way down onto your chest. Once you lower onto your chest, let's come onto the forearms, coming into a Sphinx pose. So you're planting the tops of your feet onto the mat. You're engaging your quads, those muscles right above the knees. The legs are strong. You want your elbows right beneath the shoulders. You want your forearms parallel to one another. You can always walk your elbows a little bit further forward if it's a little bit too much of a back bend with them right beneath the shoulders. So see what works for you. Pressing firmly the elbows and forearms into the mat as you feel your chest move forward. Feel that space you're creating between your collarbones. And from here, we'll lower it down, placing one hand on top of the other. Rest your third eye onto the back of one hand. Allow your heels to fall open out to the sides. Begin to massage your third eye, rocking your forehead from right to left. Massaging that center of intuition. Good. And then from here, let's find stillness. We're going to extend the left arm out in line with the shoulder like a wing out to the side. And then place your right hand onto the mat. We'll begin to open up the hips and chest towards the right side wall. You can bend in your right knee, placing your right foot behind the left leg. You can use this right hand as leverage to ease in and out of this posture. So this posture is a deep shoulder opener, it's a deep chest opener. It also helps with the upper back area, that area between the shoulder blades. If you're feeling pretty comfortable here, you can also take a half bind, wrapping that right arm across your back, reaching towards your left hip crease. Just seeing where you want to take this, trying to find that calmness of your breath. Nice long inhales and exhales. On your own time, you can release, and we'll prepare to take it right onto the other side. Let's roll onto our bellies. We'll extend the right arm out in line with the shoulder, and we'll begin opening up the hips and chest towards the left side wall, bending in your left knee, placing your left foot behind your right leg. You can use this left hand as leverage to come deeper, or maybe you're reaching around for a half bind, seeing where you want to take this. Wherever you are, just breathing into it. You want to try to relax the side of your head down too, so it's a more restful posture. Breathing into those areas where you feel tension, allowing yourself to release a little bit more. And on your own time, you can release, taking it back onto your belly. We'll place the hands onto the mat. Let's lift it up to a tabletop and then into our downward facing dog. From your down dog, you can begin to walk your feet behind your hands. You can bring your big toes together to touch or keep your feet hip distance. Let's sit the hips down low, reaching the fingertips high. On an exhale, we'll open up the chest towards the left, feeling the fingertips actively reach in opposite directions. Your hips stay squared off to the top of the mat. On an inhale, let's take it back to center. On an exhale, let's open it up towards the right. On an inhale, let's take it to center. Exhale, find your airplane arms. And inhale, rise it all the way up to standing. You can find your cactus arms, reaching your chest high, shining the heart. Remember not to stick that butt out. You want to feel rotation of pelvis to navel, protecting your low back. Take your time, don't feel rushed. We'll take it to an upright on an inhale. On an exhale, we'll fold it forward. On an inhale, let's lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. On an exhale, plant the palms, step it back to your high plank. This time through, you're welcome to move through chaturanga and up dog. As an alternative, you can always take a modified chaturanga in your low cobra. You can always move through Cat and cow as an alternative, or maybe you're just moving straight into down dog. Just see what your body needs here. Good. On your own time, on an inhale, let's reach that left leg high. On an exhale, let's step through to a low lunge. We'll spin the back heel flat, rising it up to our warrior one. You want to keep your hips nice and squared off to the top of the mat. Your back heel is grounded, nice bend in your front knee. Let's interlace the fingers above the sacrum. Remember, you can always grab onto that strap or a t-shirt or towel nearby. You just want to make sure you're rolling the shoulders back down along the spine. See, when you do that, you broaden across the chest. On an inhale, let's reach the chest high. On an exhale, you can hinge it forward at the hips, allowing those interlaced fingers to reach overhead. Try to keep your hips nice and squared off. You don't have to come as deep in your Humboldt warrior here. You can stay pretty lifted. Just if you're more open, your chest might come to the inside of the thigh. Now let's take another round here. Inhaling, reaching the chest high. Feel those interlaced fingers reach towards the back heel. Exhaling, hinging it forward. Good. On your own time, let's take it to an upright. Releasing the grip, reaching the fingertips high. On an exhale, plant your palms, or step it back to a high plank, moving through your flow of choice. Eventually we'll meet in our down dog, not feeling rushed to get there. And once you're ready to move on to the other side, we'll lift that right leg high. We'll step it through to a low lunge, spinning that back heel flat, rising it up to our warrior one. Take your time to get yourself set up here, making sure you feel nice and grounded in the feet. Inviting right hip back, left hip forward. Back sole of the foot is nice and ground. The whole outside of the foot, the heel, it's nice and grounded onto the mat. It will help stabilize you, especially as you move through in this posture. Let's interlace the fingers above the sacrum. Roll those shoulders back. Remember, you can grab onto your strap if you need it. On an inhale, we'll reach the chest high, feeling interlaced fingers reach towards the back of the mat. On an exhale, we'll hinge it forward at the hips. You'll really notice here, if you keep that back foot grounded on the mat, that it's a lot easier to find stability as you allow those interlaced fingers to maybe reach overhead. Let's take another round, moving at your own pace. Inhaling, reaching the chest high. Exhaling, hinging it forward. Good. Allowing those interlaced fingers to guide you back to an upright. Releasing the grip, reaching the fingertips high. Planting the palms, let's step it back, moving through your flow at your own pace. Good. From here, let's take it into a high plank, top of a push-up. We're going to come into a side plank here. I'm going to start on the right side. You can bring your right hand slightly in and forward. If you want a modification here, you can come on to your right shin, your right knee, and pivot the shin slightly towards the right as you spin your left foot flat, reaching the left fingertips high. If you want to come into the full posture, you can extend both feet back, allowing both heels to fall towards the right side of the room. If you're in your full posture here, I'm going to lift the hips high, and you might come into your wild thing where you step, you bend in your left knee, placing the bottom of the foot onto the floor, and begin to reach your chest high as your left fingertips reach forward, keeping your hips and chest continuing to reach up towards the ceiling. And once you're ready, wherever you are, you can eventually make your way into your high plank. Let's lower onto the knees. Let's take it into a child's pose just for a couple breaths. To find a little reset here before we come on to the other side. And once you're ready, let's take it to a tabletop. We'll step back into our high plank, coming onto our left side. You have all the same options. Bringing your left hand slightly in and forward. You can lower onto your left knee, pivoting the shin towards the left side while as you spin that right foot flat, reaching right fingertips high. Or you might extend both feet, allowing both heels to fall towards the right side, towards the left side. Feel your hips reach high, and then you can bend in that right knee, placing your right foot onto the mat, coming into that wild thing on this side. Feeling your hips and chest reach high as those right fingertips reach forward, just seeing where you want to take it on your own time. You can flip it back over, coming into your high plank. And from here, we'll once again come into the child's pose. Big toes together, knees out wide. Allow your hips to melt towards your heels as you reach your fingertips towards the top of the mat. Resting your third eye, the center of your forehead down, you can begin to massage it. Coming even closer to clearing the mind. Coming even closer to tapping back into yourself. Letting go of any of the things you might be holding on to. Once you're ready, you can slowly lift it up to a tabletop, and we'll make our way onto our backs. You can either roll over to over your shins or roll over onto one hip. And then we'll slowly lower it all the way down onto the mat. Relaxing your shoulder blades down towards your heels. From here, walking your heels in towards your hips, spreading your arms out like wings. Scoot your hips over to the left, allowing both legs to fall to the right, bringing your gaze towards your left fingertips. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, you might twist a little bit more. Eventually taking it back to center, we'll prepare to take it to the other side, scooching hips to the right. Legs fall to the left, bringing your gaze towards your right fingertips. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, you might twist a little bit more. On your own time, take it back to center, walking those heels in towards the hips. Press your elbows into the mat with your fingertips facing the ceiling. Make sure your knees are stacked right above the ankles. Feet are flat and parallel to one another. We'll begin to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, coming into a variation of our bridge pose. Feel your shoulder blades move towards one another as you continue to press your elbows into the mat. Your hips might reach a little bit higher. As slowly as you can, lower down from upper, middle to lower back. Giving yourself a nice massage as you lower all the way down. Hugging your knees in towards your chest, you can begin to rock from right to left. Eventually, taking it to center, wrapping your arms across your shins, giving yourself a nice big squeeze here, giving yourself a nice big hug. On an exhale, let's lower it onto the mat. Relaxing fingers, relaxing toes, relaxing every muscle, every joint in the body.